Good morning, this is Carrie. How are we doing today? It is Thursday and we are working on makeup this morning. I have some pretty important stuff going on today. I'm using my Milk Makeup setting for underneath my eyes. Try to set my corrector and my concealer. This is my corrector. It's my Chanel. It's the lightest color. And bags don't look too bad today. Got a little bit more sleep last night. So feeling a little bit better about the dark circles under my eyes today. I hope you're well wherever you are. It's the 4th of July weekend, which means we're halfway through summer already. Can you believe that? It sure has gone by in a hurry. So I wanted to talk to you today a little bit more, continue our previous conversation about being a business owner and how to get your insurance agency off the ground, if that's what you decide that you are interested in. It is a extremely rewarding career because you're helping people, and for me, I love to help people. And so the biggest thing that you have to decide is what kind of agent do you want to be. Do you want to be a captive agent? I've also done my eyebrows already. I've put them on and I've cleaned them up. There's basically two different types of insurance agents. There's a captive agent, which is working for a captive carrier, for example, State Farm, Farmers, Allstate. I used to be an Allstate agent, and I decided to leave Allstate because I just didn't have enough choices for my clients, especially if they got a renewal that they were unhappy with. Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer, must buy, in my opinion. So you want to decide, do you want to be a captive agent, work for a captive carrier, or do you want to be an independent agent and work for multiple carriers and have multiple options for your clients, not only at the time of new business when they become your client, but also when their renewals come in and they are not happy with their renewal, then you have the opportunity to shop that customer with another carrier. I chose an independent agency because of that reason. I wanted more options. I wanted to be able to keep my clients and not lose them because I didn't have another option for them when they got a renewal in that they were unhappy about. So I decided to go independent. Now I'm going to put on my concealer here underneath my eyes. And the thing about becoming a captive agent is it's a little easier in that you have one carrier and you get appointed with that one carrier. When you go independent, you have to have multiple carriers, so you have to get appointed with multiple carriers, and that's a little different. That's a little difficult right now in our economy and in the current state of our insurance industry, when you are brand new and you don't have any experience. It is a challenge to get those appointments. And so what is happening in the independent world is there are clusters, which is a group of agents. It's normally run by an organization. Normally it's with people who've been in the insurance industry that have put together a group, and they, as a group, go to carriers and ask for rates and appointments. So you belong to this group of other insurance agents, and you then have the option to go to the carriers and get additional appointments for additional agents. So it's a group. You as the agent belong to the association or the group, and normally you pay a fee to belong to the organization, and then the organization goes and they get your appointment with multiple carriers. And this is pretty much the way it's working now on the independent side. It's just very, very difficult to find carriers that are willing to give individuals with no previous experience or book of business an appointment. So that's an option, and it's a good option, because a lot of these groups, they offer multiple things too. They offer training and support and supplies, and so it's a great option if you're brand new to the business, brand new to insurance, and you doggone it, I forgot my primer today. Oh well, got busy talking. So now I'm just going to use my highlighter here, and I'm kind of using it as a way to add a little shimmer to my face, a little color. So that is a definite way for you to get the appointments that you need, so you have multiple options for your clients. And it also helps you too, because you belong to a group, and so the group's production helps the rates. You have better rates. You generally, as an agent, have better retention because the entire group is rated. So it's definitely a great way for somebody new to the business to get an independent agency opened. There are fees generally associated by these groups, but it's well worth it, because you would have had those fees if you had tried as an individual to go to those carriers and get those appointments. So basically it becomes a one-stop shop for you to get your appointments and then be able to start selling. That's the first thing you have to decide, is what do you want? You want to be independent, you want to be captive, and then you need to, obviously, like with any business, you need to have a business plan. And in that business plan, you need to decide on if you're going to sell just personal lines. Are you going to sell commercial lines? Are you going to be a life agent? Are you going to be just strictly a health agent? Or are you going to do all lines of business? That's what I do. The reason I do that is because if I have a commercial client and I write their commercial insurance, I just use my Fendi powder foundation to set my wet foundation, my wet products. So I am a independent agent, and I offer all lines of insurance, because if I have a commercial client and that commercial client, I get all of their insurance, their lines of business that they're looking for their business, I want to then be able to also have their personal lines, because the more lines of insurance you have with an individual, the greater your retention is, or the greater the likelihood that they won't leave your agency and go somewhere else, because they have multiple things invested in your agency. This is my LA Colors highlighter palette that I use to contour. And today I am going to be using, I gotta find my fluffy brush, wherever that is. Can't find it. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna be using one of these colors in here today, and I'm gonna use this bottom color, and I'm gonna use that to have that as my transition color up here. So I decided that I wanted to do all lines of business. For that reason, I wanted my retention to be higher, and I just feel that if you have your clients have all lines of business with you, then the greater the likelihood that they're going to stay with you is much better than if, for example, they just had one policy with you. Because you know what, guys, it takes a lot in the overall scheme of things to find a client, service that client, and keep that client. It is not an easy proposition. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of customer service. Just taking this lighter color and I'm building it down on my eyelid. This is a real soft, peachy, pinky, light color. I find for the summer it's just nice to have, especially in the daytime, you know, the lighter colors. Just building that down in through here. I'm just going to come back in and sweep across there. So you've got to decide, what do you want? Do you want to be independent? I mean, do you want to be just a one-line specialist, or do you want to have multiple lines? That's totally your choice. And once you kind of make that decision, now I'm taking my other LA Colors palette. Just love this palette, and I'm picking up this neutral color here, and I'm going to build that on the outer corners of my eye. Then you just have to decide, you know, where you want to be. What kind of location do you want to be in? Do you want to be in a retail location? Do you want to be in an office location? I would tell you, as a new startup agent, I think it's really important that you get into a location where you have a lot of visual traffic. And what I mean by that is where you can be seen. A great example of this type of location, especially down here in Texas, we have a grocery chain called HEB. They're a huge grocery chain, and they have complexes of where their stores are located. And normally in their stores, there are 2 to 3 other businesses in their location. Now I'm going to take my L'Oreal Infallible white powder and just go under there and sweep away all that excess fallout. So they have these 2 to 3 other available spots for other businesses within their stores. And they get a massive amount of traffic, right? So if you are able financially to meet the requirements of their store, I would tell you go for that, because that there is just a huge amount of traffic that those stores get on a daily basis. Now I am going to come back in with this palette again today, and I just want to pick up a little pink color, a little darker pink color, and so I'm going to come in with one of these shimmers, and I'm just going to add a little shimmer to the outside corner of my eye right here, sort of make that a line, like I'm lining my eye. Bring it come back under here. And then I'm just going to make sure that it's all blended out. So if you are lucky enough to be able to find a location like that, it would be, in my opinion, a wonderful place to start an insurance agency, because you're going to have the visual traffic, you're going to have the people that are coming in every day to shop, and so they're going to see you, and I think that's a great way to advertise, because it didn't cost you anything. It's free, right? They're just coming in and they're shopping, and so they see you. I am using my Revlon. I can't see the number here. I'll get it for you just a second. I'm using my Revlon 463 Sassy Mauve again this morning. So if you can find a location like that, that's going to be a tremendous opportunity for you, because you're going to have that visual traffic, but you're also going to have the foot traffic. And I would wholeheartedly endorse trying to find a location like that if you can. All right, today I am going to be using a little bit different blush palette. I just wanted a little darker palette today, and this is the palette that I'm using. It's called Miss Rose. It was a find at Amazon, and I'm going to come in with this darker pink, peachy color, mauvey color here today. Just want a little bit of different look versus my Kristen Dior dupe, my NARS blush. Just sweep that across the cheeks, across the nose. So you've got your location, you've decided you want to be independent versus captive. You go to your group and you get your group to get you all set up with your appointments, and then the next step is you set up your office. You go and you get your loan, and if you need if you need a loan, and you go buy all your equipment and you get your office set up. And then I would tell you that depending on your contractual agreement and the way you go, I would encourage you, if you can, without a contract forcing you, to wait a few months before you jump into getting an employee. I just think when you're starting out, you've got so much on your plate that you're worried about, especially if you're scratch, meaning you have no book of business, and you're trying to build this business. I just think it makes more sense to not have the immediate expense of an employee. But some contracts make you have an employee when you open your business. So it's really important to figure out which is the right contract for you, and then make a decision about an employee. I personally had to hire an employee when I started, and it did cause me extra stress in the beginning, because I immediately had an employee and I immediately had somebody else's livelihood that I had to take care of right away. And so for me, I wish I didn't have to do that, but I did. And so it's just my personal opinion here. All right, so I've got my blush, my foundation, my eyeshadow, my lipstick. I have done my highlighter, and I've set everything with my setting powder. Now I'm going to go in with my Revlon mascara, and I'm going to start with the white primer. And then another really big part of getting your business off the ground is social media. And I can tell you, when I started, social media was just sort of in the infancy stages. And there wasn't a whole lot talked about at the time when I started my business on the best way to work with social media and use social media to your advantage. Now, social media is the new method across the board, I think pretty much for every industry now, for marketing. And so you need to have some experience or get some training in how to use social media. That's a huge part of your marketing. It's going to be a huge part of your budget. It's also going to be a big part of the time that you spend, because it is time consuming, but it is a necessity these days to have a true social media presence and to be posting content almost on a daily basis. That's how important social media has become. So I would tell you it's important to do some research and understand what you're going to need, how you're going to do it. Are you going to hire somebody to do it? Because it is time consuming. I spend probably 2 to 3 hours a night working on my content in my social media, reposting videos and comments. And so it's a really important part of your marketing, and it is going to take up a lot of your time. I'll just tell you that right up front, but you have to do it. It's just required now in commerce. Everything is done on the internet. I'm sure where you're located, you see that malls are closing, and you have to be a pretty big retail store to continue to have a retail space. So and then just jump in for it, guys. You've got to be, you've got to be willing to put the time in. It's going to be a 3 to 4, sometimes even 5-year endeavor where you're building your business and making a profit. Most small businesses don't start to show a profit until after the 4th year. So you have to take that into consideration when you're planning, when you're talking about money so you can live. It is possible, and it's a great, in my opinion, it's a great company to have. It's a great business to have, because everybody has to have insurance. It's a necessity that we all have to have. And you can truly make a difference in your clients' lives by making sure that they are insured properly to protect their assets that they work very hard for. And it's extremely rewarding. It's extremely rewarding to build relationships with your clients and see their kids graduate and go on to college and get married and have kids. And it's like having a second family. I wouldn't trade it for anything. All right. Mascara is done. Just going to come in with some lip gloss. Put some shine on those lips. Let's put our eye galls on so we can see. Pretty nice. See that really pretty glitter? Love that. That's very pretty. All right, guys, that's it for today. Get out there, enjoy your beautiful Thursday afternoon. We got 4th of July weekend coming up. So I hope you have a wonderful, long, safe weekend, and make sure you're drinking lots of water. It's really hot and it is very dangerous. heat stroke is definitely a possibility. So make sure you're staying out of the sun from 10 to 4 every day. That's the worst time to be out in the sun directly under it. So God bless. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will catch up with you in my next video. By the way, thank you so much for stopping by today. Please leave me a comment. I love all your encouragement. Thank you so very much for that. If you would, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that bell so you know the next time I post a video. God bless. See you soon. Bye-bye.